I think I'm live. Hello and welcome back to the final K. We have got the Milano-Sanremo, the first monument of the year. 57 kilometers to go. So there is a breakaway up the road, and I think there's 5 or 6 people in it. No, there's not. There's 9. Apologies. There's 9 people in it. Quite a lot of teams, or same riders from the same team. So 2 from Movistar, 2 from Decisive Malta, 2 from Novo Nordisk, and then what's the other one? That's Bardiani, isn't it? Yeah, Bardiani. So 2 for Bardiani, 2 for Novo Nordisk, 2 for Movistar, 2 for Pulte Visit Malta, and 1 for Picnic Post NL. So that's the breakaway. Not a lot has really happened in this Milano-Sanremo. As you know, not a lot does happen until, the final, I'd say the final 30k gets really, really exciting, but it starts to kick up about now. There was a crash. Actually, there was 3 riders involved in the crash, all 3 from Ineos. There was Ben Turner, Connor Swift, and Mikhail Kwiatkowski. So the 3 of those were involved in a crash. Luckily, Filippo Ganna didn't go down. But yeah, on your screen, favourites for the race. Mathieu van der Poel obviously being the first and the main favourite for it. Tadej Pogacar sat down in second favourite, Filippo Ganna in third, Phillips in fourth, and Wout van Aert fifth. But pretty much the main 2 is Van der Poel and Tadej Pogacar. We've got UAE at the front of the peloton at the moment with Soudal Quickstep and Little Trekking behind them. Mads Pedersen riding this, so he is, which is really good to see. Glad to see he got announced for it, and that he is riding it this year after his crash there at the... Was it the Andalusia? Or was it something else? I can't actually remember. It was a race. It was a stage race in Spain. I think it was the Andalusia. I'm actually going to double check. No, the Volta Valencia. So after his crash in the Volta Valencia, he now returns for the first time since. He didn't even get to finish his first stage, so this is going to be his first full race that he gets to complete, hopefully. But we have got, I think it's not that long until the first of the Capo climbs, Capo Mele being first. So yes, we've got the Capo Mele, Cervo. I think I pronounce it Cervo, but apparently it's Cervo and Berta. Coming up, the Capo Mele is 1.6 kilometers long and has an average percent of 4.8. So they are, or so it is. So the breakaway there, I just seen the breakaway there. It's been updated. Well, not on PCS. It hasn't been updated in PCS yet. But there's 7 riders remaining. Both the riders from Novo Nordisk have dropped out of it. So they have. So we're down to 7 in the breakaway, and they have a gap of, I think it's 4 minutes 15, something like that. It was up to around, I think it was up to around 6.5, 7 minutes earlier in the day, but the peloton are putting the foot down, and it is dropping quite quickly. They're just showing the gradients here for I think it's a Cipressa. I'm trying to figure out how long they've got until the Capo Mele. I don't think it's that long. I think it's only about a kilometre, maybe a bit less than that. But no, it wasn't Cipressa. That was the Capo Berta climb they were showing. But yeah, it'll not be long to the Capo Mele. There is 53.8 kilometers to go. The breakaway is up the road and has a gap of 4 minutes and 15 seconds. The riders in the breakaway are Martin Marcellucci and Manuel Tazzori of Bardiani CSF. Then we've got Lorenzo Milesi and Manlio Moro from Movistar. Then we've got Alexei Foer-Prost from Picnic Post-Anel, and then Dario Igor Belletta and Maikor Maristri from Team Pole Divas at Malta. So, of course, every breakaway there's the riders that I just can't pronounce their names. So, but the breakaway, they've hit the Capo Mele now, 1.6 kilometers to the top of it. Like I said, it has an average of 4.8%. Don't know what the maximums are on it though. I don't think, but it's not going to be an issue. It's just the first of the so where's the melee? Yeah, so the melee has the maximum percentage. I think it's about 6%. So it is. Do you think Pogačar is a good bet at those odds? Surely he's a lock. I don't know. There is a headwind going into the final two. So with the Cipressa and the Poggio, they are hitting a headwind this year. So it will be a struggle for Pogačar to do an attack on the Cipressa. But I wouldn't say he's a lock this year. I think Van der Poel would be more a lock if you were to say someone would be a lock. I would put it more towards Van der Poel rather than Pogačar just because of that headwind. I don't think he has the advantage off an attack, but I hope he does attack and livens things up. But with the headwind, it will be very difficult for him to do so. I always forget to do the poll. Right, so let's do sprinter option and then another option. So a poll is up there now if you want to go and vote on it. Up to yourselves, but 4 options. Van der Poel, Pogačar, a sprinter, or just another rider. Peloton gap for the breakaway is now hitting the 4-minute mark. So it is 4 minutes now from the breakaway to the Peloton. 52.1k to go, as the breakaway is 500 meters from the top of the Capo Mele. On the far left-hand side of the road, we've got Q36.5 with Pidcock sitting at about third wheel of their 4 riders. And then on the far right, we have got UAE with Tadej Pogačar in and amongst them. Jan Christen, he actually abandoned the race, so he did. He abandoned the race with a crash. Who did he crash with? Allure from Movistar. So the pair of them crashed and he ended up having to abandon. The Ineos crash was bad. I think it was Kwiatkowski went down first, and he went down shoulder first, so it did look a bit rough. That crash in the crash in the women's Sanremo was brutal. Like flying over the barriers and all, like pretty much off a cliff. Someone went and just lay there and just didn't move. So I don't know. I hope they're all good, but I don't know what. It cut back to the front of the race, but that crash in the women's was brutal. Like it was awful. On a blind corner as well, and everyone just kept coming around and piling on, and there's some girl at the bottom of all the bikes just kept getting hit, and then someone hit their head off the barrier, and then someone just watching her fly over the barrier and just drop. Wasn't good. Attack on Poggio. I think there's going to be. I don't know about the Cipressa this year because of a headwind, but hopefully it's on the Cipressa. Gets a bit more exciting. But I do think it'll be on the Poggio this year. 50k to go now, or 50.2 kilometers to go. The Peloton is now 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So the gap is quickly disappearing here now. So it is. I think they've completed the Capo Mele. I think it's onto the Cervo now. Yeah, it is. Next up is the Cervo. And he also at the front of the peloton, doing the majority of the work with Alpecin in behind him. So what you would expect. So Pogacar's sitting about fifth wheel, Del Toro in front of him, and then behind him is the Soudal Quickstep and the Alpecin train with, Q36.5 to the left of him. I've seen Pidcock's helmet there. So how many in the breakaway now? Still 7. So the 2 from the Novo Nordisk team, they dropped out, so we're left to 7. Do I think Jan Christen abandoned him? But I don't know, actually. I'm not 100%. I think that if Pogacar is going to attack, Del Toro will launch him, and I think for the positioning onto the Cipressa, if he is going to attack there, or for positioning, I think you need Vermeersch for that. So I think they're just losing another rider to pace at the front. So I guess it could hinder. Potentially, it could take more time or take more effort out of the likes of Vermeersch or something like that, but I don't think it is going to impact on his attacking or positioning. What do you think of Utebrooks in Movistar this year? Someone to watch, definitely. I was expecting, let me check, has he only rode the one race? Because I watched him he was in the Volta Valencia, so I didn't really watch the Volta Valencia, but he was meant to ride, what was he meant to ride? I think he was meant to ride the Paris-Nice or the Tirreno, one of the two, but he didn't, and he ended up riding the Milano-Torino, and he actually looked very good in it. He was there with Tess Fassion and Jefferson Cepeda from Movi. Was it? Yeah, both them from Movistar, or was that Astana? No, it's Movistar. I think it's Movistar, unless my brain's gone. But yeah, they were brilliant, and Utebrooks, he was attacking, and he came 5th in the end. So it was a good show from him, and he's got the Catalunya coming up here, so he's definitely one to watch in it, as well as Enric Mas, because he's going to be riding it, and it'll be the first race that them two are riding together since Utebrooks joined Movistar. So yeah, I think after the Milano-Torino, he's looking pretty good going into the Volta Catalunya. So hopefully we get something out of him in that. Looks like the Ineos lead out is back. There's quite a lot of them here now. So the ones that crashed was Kwiatkowski, Connor Swift, and Ben Turner. They were the three from Ineos that went down, but they seem to have all got back to the. I don't know, obviously, who is back at the front, but they've got about 6 or 7 riders. I think there are only 7 a team, but they've got quite a lot of riders in their lead out here at the front of the peloton anyway. Landa for the Catalunya. Don't know about him for the maybe a breakaway win or something like that, but it is his first race of the year. It's going to be his first race of the season, actually, and he's going to be the main man for Quickstep now. So we could see something. I don't know, maybe a top 10. I don't know about the win with the other riders riding it, but possibly a top 10, even a stage win. So Ineos are back to the front now, and they have pretty much got their whole team. So it's good to see that it wasn't that crash that did look a bit brutal. Wasn't too much for them. Bro's not winning. Not a mission. I'm sorry. You're not. You've already. Wait, who was it? I was going to say. I was waiting for you to come on, so I'd say you've already lost someone in your fantasy team, which was Kwiatkowski. But I think he's back in the lead out now. So they're just showing the breakaway here again. They are 0.5 kilometers off the Capo Is it Cervo or Cervo? I'll just say Cervo. The Capo Cervo. It's 1.1 kilometers long and 3.2% average. And the breakaway has 400 meters until they hit the top of it. They're down to 2 minutes and 56 seconds until they hit the peloton. But you don't need them anyway. Breakaway still the same as well. 7 riders in it. I don't want to pronounce them again. So there's 2 from Bardiani CSF, 2 from Movistar, 1 from Picnic Poznanel, and 2 from Polti Visit Malta. The Polti Visit Malta team, they unveiled their new jersey for it was like a new retro jersey. I actually quite like it. It's actually very retro. But I heard a commentator say that there was some issues with with an Irish team. Apparently, they looked quite similar, and there was a few issues. A few issues. I can't even speak. A few issues with it, but they were able to wear it anyway. So the start of the Capo Cervo for the Peloton. So from right to left at the Peloton, we've got UAE, Quick Step to the left of them. Then there's Lotto Intermarché, Q36.5 and Ineos. They're the 5 teams at the front from right to left. Sitting about 4 or 5% going up this climb, 37 kilometers an hour. Astana are still just in behind the UAE team, so there. Someone's getting a bit excited with the emojis in the chat. I think the jerseys are now too corporate. I'm not. Yeah, I do agree. They're a lot. It's more like, see, if you look at logos now for companies compared to the old logos, they've just lost that. It's like they've lost their soul. Like the jerseys nowadays are very clean, but they've just lost a bit of their. I know what I mean, and I don't know if you know what I mean, but if you look at like old logos of different companies, they had like a bit of soul to it, and then the new ones, they're like clean and refined and stuff like that. I think that's what the majority of the kits are like nowadays. But that Pole di Visit Multi one does bring a retro look back to it. So we got 6 votes in the poll, and it's 50-50 split between Van der Poel and Pogačar. No votes for sprinter and no votes for other. My prediction is, I should have said that to begin with, my prediction for the Milano-Sanremo was Filippo Ganna. That's who I think is going to get it. But I mean, it's going to be hard to beat Van der Poel, in my opinion. I think it is his race to lose. Alpecin have won the last 3 editions of the Milano-Sanremo. Van der Poel won it last year. Philipsen won it 2 years ago, and then Van der Poel won it 3 years ago. So Alpecin seem to dominate this race. Well, for the past 3 years they have. Pogačar still yet to get a Milano-Sanremo. I think he's rode 4 or 5. I still yet to get it. Pardon me. So the gap from the breakaway to the Peloton, 2:32. 44k to go. So there is Capo Berta up next. It's the steepest of the 3. 1.9k long and 6.2% in average. Should have actually asked that. Does anyone have a favourite jersey this year for the teams? My favourite jersey is either the NSN jersey or the Ineos jersey or Decathlon. I think I did a video anyway, but my S tier was Ineos, NSN and Decathlon. I'm trying to think, did I have a favourite? I think my favourite was Ineos. Ineos was my favourite. Ineos there as well. So yeah, no, I think their jersey was brilliant, or is brilliant. They did have the white shorts though. And then they got rid of the white shorts and then they went to black short. I preferred the white shorts, the whole white look with the orange. It was very nice. EF I've always liked. Yeah, the pink as well, yeah. I do like the colour pink, so the EF Education jersey is very nice. A lot of silver on it this year as well. Nothing will beat Prime Saxo Tinkoff, yeah. That is probably my favourite jersey of all time. The Contador, and the Contador wearing that jersey was just, bah. Don't even get me started on it. Just too perfect. Please don't go to an ad break. It's going to go to an ad break. I don't think so. They're showing the town of Sanremo, or the city. I don't know if it's a town or a city, but I don't know if they're going to an ad break here. I hope they don't. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I hate saying it, but don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm live all next week for the Volta Catalunya, the Ronde van Bruges, the E3 Saxo, and Gent-Wevelgem. So a lot of races next week. There's 10 World Tour races next week. I'll be live for every single one. So like and subscribe, and join them if you would like. Back to the race now. Coming into the final 40k, 2 minutes 13 for the breakaway. So they're obviously going to get caught, but it's just a matter of time. They've been in the break the majority, like the entirety of the day. Actually, there was a bit of an issue I read this morning when I woke up that the breakaway went the wrong way. They made the wrong exit on the roundabout, and the Peloton caught them. So I don't know what happened there, but that it's actually quite funny, but obviously not funny for the breakaway riders. Peloton, they're just showing the front of the Peloton, and it does look a bit hectic there, to be honest. That you can sort of feel the tension just by looking at it. Ineos are still on the left. Decathlon have come up the right hand side of Ineos now. UAE are still on the right. Alpecin have now come up from the back of UAE, are now on the left of UAE. Picnic, why do I always say Picnic? It's Q36, so Q36. Ooh, yeah, it's getting quite tense in the Peloton, trying to catch his breakaway and bump the speed up. The Rockets jersey is definitely one that stands out. Don't know if that's a good thing or not, but I agree, it does stand out. It's like a highlighter, so it is. You look at the Peloton and they're the first team you spot pretty much. Actually, I do kind of like it. The colours on it. When I did first see it, I thought it just reminded me of a gender reveal, to be honest, because the pink and the blue. But it has grown on me, so it has. It's a lot better than their kit last year. So the breakaway has 1.7k to the Capo Berta. There's a lot of screaming from the Peloton, shouting at each other, trying to get position here for this Capo Berta. But the tension is starting to ramp up. So we've got quite right. So the front of the Peloton is Ineos on the right. To the left of them is Alpecin and Q36.5 sort of mixed together, but predominantly Alpecin. In the middle is Tudor. Tudor Pro Cycling are coming up the middle, and then on the left-hand side of the road we have got Ineos on the far left, and just to the right of them is Decathlon. So, and there was quite a lot of swerving as well. So we're coming onto the Capo Berta for the breakaway. Flares are being let off. Is that a flare or is that a smoke grenade? I think that's the right. But Bardiani CSF rider drops out the back. Both of them are dropping out the back. A Movistar rider drops out the back. So we're losing both Bardiani CSF riders and a Movistar rider. Who's it from Movistar? Manlio Moro from Movistar. So the four left in the breakaway are Alexei Fuer-Prost from Picnic Post-NL, Micro Maestri from Polti Visit Malta, Dario Igor Baletta, and Lorenzo Malesi from Movistar. So we're down to 4 as the rest are struggling. Unless did that Movistar rider make it back on? No, he didn't. 1 minute and 41 from the Peloton. We're into the final 40k now, so it is starting to ramp up a bit here. The pace. Oh, why have I done that? So actually, let me get the red arrow up. So where's the red arrow? Right. So we're sat. Of course, I moved the whole background. So we're sat, and of course the red arrow's behind it. Oh, dearie me. So we're on to the Capo Berta, UAE, Q36.5, Tudor, Ineos. Decathlon has sort of dropped back a bit, but we are currently here on this orange dot. That is the climb we're currently on your screen now. Big crowd at the first main corner of the Capo Berta, but this one is a lot steeper than the other ones. The first 400 meters are fine at 4.5%, but then from 400 meters to 1.9 kilometers. That's the end of it. It is around 6.5-7% average. So I'm going to turn that arrow off because I'll forget about it, like I always do. But a lot of work from Ineos, UAE and Alpecin. Showing the back of the peloton here, and just the people struggling to hold on. There's a guy from Pole Visit Malta, and he's hanging on for dear life. What are my thoughts on Tom Pidcock on this race and his season in general? He's doing pretty good so far this season. For this race, I don't know. Because, like I said, even for Pogacar, like I said, for him, because of the headwind. I know, what year was it? Pidcock on the descent. Oh, was it 23? I can't remember. I was watching the highlights the other night. I think it was 23 or 4. Pidcock, he was at Ineos at the time, and on the descent, and then into the final kilometre, he was still attacking out the front. But we could possibly see he's coming in with brilliant form. Like his season in general, he just won the Milano-Sanremo. He won a stage at the Volta Andalusia, or Volta Andalusia. Or was it the Vuelta? Anyway, the Andalusia. And then he got a top 10 at the Strade Bianche. And I think he would have got higher in the Strade Bianche if it wasn't for the mechanicals. It took him out of the race a bit. But he definitely is someone to watch, even for an attack on the Poggio. If attacks happen on the Poggio, because on that descent he can gap, because he is really, really good at descending. So he definitely is someone to watch. I'll be rooting for him, like, from the UK, so if he's in that top 3, I will be rooting for him. Or if he's in that final bunch or whatever it is to the end. So they're showing here the Capo Berta, UAE at the front still. 4th wheel is Pogacar. On Pogacar's wheel is Van de Poel. Coming up the right-hand side of Pogacar is 3 Ineos riders. I think Ghana is the 2nd wheel of the Ineos riders. Yeah, so Ghana is just to the right-hand side of Pogacar. So the 3 of them are there. Del Toro's now on the wheel of Pogacar. Julian Alaphilippe's there. I can see Pidcock in the back. Pidcock is about 3 wheels down on Julian Alaphilippe, and Alaphilippe is on Van de Poel's wheel. So Pidcock is a tad wee bit back, but he should get to the front here and towards the top. EF Education, they're removing to the front. Who do they have? They have Luc Lamperti, don't they? See, when it comes in, and then I see a team and I'm like, who do they have? And I just can't remember. What do I prefer, Sanremo, Il Lombardia, or Strade Bianche? I like the Sanremo because of the last 30k, like anyone does. But I just the Strade Bianche, just watching that with the gravel and the dust. I think loads of people said, but I agree. I think the Strade Bianche should become a monument, and there should be 6. But then Sanremo would lose the thing of the first monument of the year. But for closeness in a race, because Strade Bianche, Pogacar's won it that many times. What is it, 4 times now? I can't remember these things. But I think for now, at the moment, what they prefer probably the Sanremo, just because of how close the race ends up being, and how big it is in history. So the Capo climbs are done, or what's the Italian with the Tre Capi, or the Tre Capi? The three Capo climbs have now finished. The Cipressa's up next, so it is not long before this race really starts to kick off. I think the Cipressa comes, the top of the climb. It's either the top of the climb or the bottom of the climb is 22 kilometers at the finish. I think it's the top. But it's within the final. Let me see if I can actually get the exact kilometer. So yeah, the top of the climb is 22 kilometers from the finish. So the bottom of the climb is 28. So yeah, it's up next. And sorry, I should have asked, what do you prefer? Do you prefer the Sanremo, Lombardia, or Strade Bianche? I forgot to ask that. I just realised there as I went back to read it again. But the Cipressa up next, and the tension will only build in the peloton, and it was looking a bit shaky there coming into the Capo Berta with quite a lot of swerving, quite a lot of shouting, so I'm expecting an increase in that as we now hit the narrow... What town are we in here? These wee narrow roads are quite cool. "54 seconds now the breakaway has on the peloton. So it's not long now until the break. I think the breakaway got caught here before the Cipressa. But I hope so. Actually, no, I don't hope so, because I hope the breakaway's still out there. Make it a bit interesting. Because with the breakaway at the front, and then see if anyone attacks. Punchy climbing one day. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair, so it is. I know, but I agree with the punchy one day race. I see the sprinting one day races. Like, see that... I don't mind it if it's like a bunch finish and there's cobbles or something in the middle. But see that pro race that happened there, the Braden... I hate pronouncing it. The Braden Coxside Classic. In the middle of the stage, there was like a couple hills and maybe one or two cobble sectors, and then it was just flat to the finish. I thought, add something towards the end of it, make it a bit interesting. So I do agree with the punchy one day races. They are a lot better than a sprinting one day. But would you class the Sanremo as a punchier one day race just because of the end of it? I know the climbs aren't that steep, but because it is that long, everyone's that tired at the end of it. It can end at a bunch sprint as well, so I suppose it isn't really. But depending on the year, I guess you could say it's a punchy one day classic. So we've got Jayco at the front now. 3 riders. Is it 3 or 2? 2 riders from Jayco at the front. Visma are now coming up the right hand side of Ineos. So they're trying to take the right hand side of the road closest to the curb. Or no, sorry. Visma are coming up the right hand side of UAE, trying to get closest to the curb. Ineos are still on the left hand side of the road. Red Bull are now coming up the left hand side of UAE, as well as Alpecin. I know that the turn onto the Cipressa is like the bend and the positioning is sharp, and the positioning is key for it. So I'm excited to see what is going to happen here. So we've got 3 in the breakaway now. The rider from Picnic Post dropped, so we've got 3. 2 from Polti Visit Malta and 1 from Movistar. All 3 of them Italian as well. Lorenzo Malesi, Dario Igor Baletta, and Micro Maestri. They're the 3 left. So, yeah. 16 votes now on the poll. 50% say Pogacar's getting it. 38% say Van der Poel. 6% sprint and 6% other. So the poll has changed quite a lot, but Pogacar keeps... Sorry, 53% now Pogacar. Got another vote for Pogacar. So the poll is changing significantly into Pogacar's favour. $32.8k to go now. And crash at... Oh, shit. Van Aert's down. Beniam Girmay's down. Pogacar's down. Oh, shit. Wout van Aert, Pogacar, Beniam Girmay. Holy shit. Oh, shit. Pogacar down. Doesn't look good on the clothing on his left leg. Van Aert's hand in the air. He can't get back on the bike. He has a mechanical issue. Who's that? Soren Kragh Andersen as well. Matteo Jorgensen. Pellizzari. Holy, a massive crash here. Pogacar's the first one to hit the deck. Pogacar hits the deck first. That is very unlike him. Oh. Someone from Alpecin went down, but it wasn't Van der Poel. There's damage to Pogacar on his left leg, like, so Uno X have moved to the front. I can't believe that. So the crash was Pogacar, Jorgensen, Pellizzari, Wout van Aert, Affini, Borgo, and Biniam Girmay. What? A lot of the favourites going down there. You think Van der Poel's odds plummeted? As in, like, they're like mega favourite now. Like, so they come round the bend. They're showing the replay. They come round the bend. What happened? I think Pogacar hits the rider in front, and he's the first one to go down. Yeah. So yeah, I think you're right. I think Van der Poel has just won the heaviest favourite ever for a race against Pogacar. He's a lot of damage on the left hand side of his body. Well, not I say damage, the whole side of his body's like black with obviously the pavement he hit, but there's a lot of rips coming up the left hand side of his leg, and he's not even in the peloton. He's gapped from the peloton. Oh no. So the whole race is split apart here. So we've got the front of the peloton now. Red Bull on the right, Uno X on the left with AF Education and Ineos, but all the teams are all over the show. Groupama FDJ are here. There's one rider from the Unibet Rose Rockets. I see Vasek coming up the left hand side of the road in the AF Education train. But I see Lucas Kubish. I see Ghana. I don't see Van der Poel. I think Roglic is there as well. And there's a gap. This is the front of the peloton. Then there's a gap to another big bunch, and then behind that bunch is the Pogacar group. So Pogacar has a massive amount of work to do to get back here. Wout van Aert's completely out of the race. He hit the the most unluckiest rider. Like, he came out saying that he's here to win it and he's gonna win it. And every time he's rode this race, he's been in the top 5, and he hasn't rode it since 2023. And he hits a deck. Jorgensen hand in the air. He needs a bike change. Biniam Girmay at the back of this group. I think the eyes are going to be on the back of this group for the majority of this race. Now, Pogacar is 54 seconds down on the breakaway. The peloton is 17 seconds down on the breakaway. So you're looking at a 36 second gap. Group Van Aert, 1 minute and 14 down. Van Aert's gone. Is that Van der Poel? So Van der Poel is in the second group. What is going on here? Van der Poel's in the second group chasing the peloton. So he's not in the peloton yet. They're not that far down the road, but Van der Poel's out of it. At the moment, he's trying to get back in. Pogacar's out the back, way out the back, 47 seconds down. Does he even have any teammates with him? I don't think he has any teammates. I think it's going to Del Toro here. Or no, he's one teammate. Who's that? 114. Who is that? Why is it at the bottom? Grobschartner. So that's his only teammate. That's the only teammate Pogacar has. So we've got the 3 Jumbo-Visma riders here on the back of the Jumbo-Visma car. Oh, the whole Visma team is like pretty much out of it. Affini, Jorgensen, Van Aert. I don't even know what riders are left for Visma in the peloton. Biniam Girmay. Oh, a lot going on. I think the poll says 57% Pogacar, but I think I'm going to need to redo that. 33% say Van der Poel, but he's not even in the peloton yet. And we haven't even hit the Cipressa yet. So as it stands, that'll happen, and I forgot to change. So we've got 28.2 kilometers to go. 28.1 kilometers to go. The peloton is 14 seconds on the breakaway. Van der Poel has made it back into the peloton, so Van der Poel's back in the peloton. They're 14 down on the breakaway. Pogacar is 32 seconds down on the breakaway, so 20 seconds down on the peloton. Van Aert, 51 seconds down on the breakaway, so he is 40 seconds down on the peloton. Oh, it completely just everything happened at once there. So we've still got Ineos at the front. Ghana is still there, untouched. 0.3 kilometers till the Cipressa. Oh no, this is where it's going to kick off, isn't it? Pogacar's still, there's about 7 cars at the back of the peloton, and Pogacar is sitting on about side by side with the 5th car, so he's still got quite a bit to go. The breakaway is about to get caught here, so fair play to the 2 riders from Pulti Visit Malta and the rider from Movistar, as Ineos are at the front. Ghana is second wheel as they hit the start of the Cipressa. Any attacks, anything going to happen, but Ghana is sat in second wheel. 27 kilometers to go. There's Mads. I see Mads Pedersen. Julian Alaphilippe looks like he's attacking on the right-hand side. They cut to the back of the peloton. Show the front of it. Pogacar makes contact with the peloton. Pogacar is now back in the peloton as he's trying to move up as quickly as possible around the right-hand side. But Pogacar's moving up this peloton fairly quickly. Van Aert is still not hit the peloton, so he's still out the back. Ghana still second wheel. Pedersen's there. Vasek's there. I actually said in my preview Vasek won the watch. It's his debut at this race. Pidcock's, I forgot about Pidcock. Pidcock's still there. Trenton's still there. So Pogacar's being brought to the front by 1, 2, 15. Who's that? Brandon McNulty. Brandon McNulty's bringing Pogacar to the front of the peloton, or trying to bring him up as quickly as possible. So we've got 5 kilometers to the top of the Cipressa. Del Toro now moves to the right-hand side of Ghana, so them two are side by side. I'm very happy to see Pedersen still there. I see 2 riders from Red Bull. One I'm going to assume is Roglic. Ghana looked like to be clipped out of the pedals there. Oh, jeez. But Jayco are controlling the front of the peloton here with 2 riders. Trenton in third wheel. Pidcock sat in fourth, just to the left of Trenton. Pogacar's coming to the front. Pogacar's still here. Where's Van der Poel though? There, Pogacar's at the front. Pogacar's made it to the front of the peloton. Any reaction? Brandon McNulty powering straight at the front for Pogacar as they move to the front of the peloton. Pogacar sat second wheel. Del Toro sat about 5th wheel. Pidcock in 4th wheel. No sign of Van der Poel. Where did Van der Poel go? There's no... there's Van der Poel now. So Van der Poel is on the wheel of Ghana. There's no way Pogacar wins this after this. If he wins this after this crash, he's like the Terminator. So Van der Poel is sat about between 10 and 15th wheel. Is that Tabashlon Anderson in third wheel? 4 kilometers to the top of the Cipressa, 25.6k to go. So Del Toro is now coming up to the front. He's going to sit on the wheel of Del Toro's coming up to the front of the peloton as he hits the wheel of Pogacar. He's side by side with Pidcock at the moment, but I think Brandon McNulty's going to move off here, and Del Toro's going to move to the front, and he's going to launch Tadej Pogacar as Ghana now swerves to the right hand side of the road to try and lock onto the wheel of Pogacar, which he does do. Van der Poel now on the wheel of Ghana. Oh dear. Pidcock side by side with Ghana. So at the front, Brandon McNulty first. Then there's Del Toro, Pogacar, Pidcock, Ghana, Van der Poel. Then I think is that Pedersen, Mads Pedersen, as well as someone from Decathlon. I think it's Tabashlon Anderson. I'm not 100%. It's either that or Paul Lapierre, but I think everyone's just, I think UAE are just waiting for Brandon McNulty to finish, and then after he's done, it's Del Toro at the front, so that'll be a lot of eyes on him to see what he pulls off it here at this Milano-Sanremo. If you are enjoying, subscribe, like. I'm here all year for the World Tour races. If you do enjoy it, I think it says 95, but I think I'm 96. I'm only a couple subscribers off 100, so Brandon McNulty gets out of the saddle. He's given everything here. As Del Toro now, Brandon McNulty moves to the side. Del Toro gets out of the saddle. Pogacar on his wheel. Here we go. Del Toro now putting the foot down. Pidcock sat in third wheel, and Ghana and Van der Poel. Pedersen is still there. I'm shocked that Pedersen's still there. So Del Toro is out of the saddle and he is riding like there's no tomorrow. Like, so we've got the main favourites here at the front. But everyone's still in the same wheel. As Pogacar now attacks at the front. Pogacar's attacking. Here we go. Pidcock goes with him. Ghana can't really go, but Van der Poel bridges across to Pidcock. So they've three. Mads Pedersen is there. Is that Pedersen? So Pogacar's attacking. He's given everything here. That crash obviously didn't phase him. And we're left with a group of three. Pogacar, Pidcock and Van der Poel. Everyone else is gone. Fair play to Pidcock. So there's now a gap. I don't even know how many seconds, but at the front of the group chasing is Ghana and someone from Little Trek. I think it's Pedersen. Pedersen tried to go but couldn't. There is a massive gap here. Holy shit. That gap. Yeah, Ghana hasn't made it. Ghana's done. It's down to these three. 23.7k to go. Van der Poel, Pidcock and Pogacar. That is who is left at this year's Milano-Sanremo. The gap for the Peloton is massive. There was no one left to chase down. Ghana was done. There's one rider from Little Trek. I can't tell if it's Pedersen. I can't see the cuffs on the sleeve. So we have three riders from Little Trek now at the front. They'll be trying to bring him back. Highly doubt it, but if they do, fair play to them. Pardon me. But the gap from this group that just opened out of nowhere and was massive. Pogacar out of the saddle again, trying to attack. Not facing Van der Poel as he's in the seat, but Pogacar is trying to drop them here. Now I'm rooting for Pidcock now. If Pidcock gets this, holy shit. Doing 35 kilometers an hour. They've got the time of the climb for the front of the race here. It's currently at 6 minutes or 7 minutes now. The record is 9 minutes. So the record is 9 minutes, and after they did it last year, Pogacar and Van der Poel said, let's break it again by another minute. So they've got 50 seconds to do 1.3k to the top of it. Actually, I think they will break it, but not by the minute. 18 seconds now for this Pogacar, Pidcock and Van der Poel group to the Peloton. 19 seconds. They've got 1.1k to the top of the Cipressa, and then it is a descent down to the flat 10k until the Poggio. This descent will be, well, the descent for the Poggio is probably the better one. The Cipressa, I was going to say if there was a Pidcock wouldn't be able to do it on his own for that, but we've got Little Trek at the front pacing. There's three riders from Little Trek. Del Toro's in fourth wheel. Ghana is in fifth wheel. Two riders from Red Bull on Ghana's wheel. They're doing 44 kilometers an hour. I think that was the front of the race, not the Peloton. So the front of the race, 8 minutes and 8 seconds now. The record is 8:59 as they've got 600 meters to the top of the Cipressa. So they're trying to break. Pogacar crashed, Van der Poel dropped, and they're still trying to break the record. As Pogacar now attacks on the right hand side of the road, Pidcock reacts and goes with him. Van der Poel still on third wheel, but Pogacar attacks. Is there a gap? Pidcock's not letting him go. Pidcock's still out of the saddle, not letting him go anywhere. Fair play to Pidcock. This is some shown from you. He's 19 seconds now to break the world record. I don't think they're going to do it, actually. They've got 10 seconds now to hit the top of it. Do they hit the top? Do they break it? 4 seconds. 3, 2. I don't know if they've. Apparently they broke it by 2 seconds. I don't think they did. I don't think they did break it, but this is them under the descent of the Cipressa. As it stands, 21.4k to go. Pogacar, Pidcock and Van der Poel are out the front on their own with a 22-second gap on the Peloton. There's that famous graffiti off the Cipressa as they pass it on the first corner on the descent. This is nuts. So they're just showing the timings. Wait, what? I'm confused with that timing. They said Pogacar was 7 seconds quicker than Van der Poel, but they crossed at the same time. So I don't know what they mean by that. But we're now 20.3 kilometers, 27 seconds on the Peloton or the chasing group. I don't even know if you could class it as a Peloton. I think it's still pretty big, but 20k to go, 29 seconds the gap for Pogacar, Pidcock and Van der Poel. But it is Little Trek. The last time they're showing the back of it, the last time I seen it was the front of the race, and Little Trek were doing the majority of the work. Ten kilometers to the Poggio. I don't know if they're going to catch him. So I don't. The Pogacar crash, Van der Poel drop. I don't think Van der Poel had any issues, but he dropped and got back, so he had to do a bit of work. He had a teammate though. I don't know if they're going to catch him. I think that they might be able to do it. I hope they don't force Pidcock to the front. I hope Pidcock's smart enough to just sit on the wheel of everyone and say, here, mate, you want to win this, you go and do it. I'll just follow the attacks if anyone wants to do it. But I'm not riding at the front. But the descent, with Pidcock in this group, the descent on the Poggio, I'm buzzing for, because he is going to try and rip it to pieces here. Well, I hope he does. I hope he tries to rip it to pieces on the descent. The time gap now 35 seconds, so it's actually increasing. Last time I said it was 29, so the time gap is increasing. I'm going to do another poll, because this poll... Let me do another poll. And Pidcock's at the front. No, don't go to the front yet. Van der Poel is at the back and has been at the back. He's not going to move to the front. If Pidcock moves to the front, there's no point. Pogacar wants to win this race. Have him at the front. So, Pogacar, So the group chasing, we've got Bahrain victorious, Little Trek, 2 riders from each team at the front, chasing down. We've got a rider from Decathlon, as well as Isaac Del Toro, a rider from Quick Step. I'm just naming the ones at the front, and someone from Groupama FDJ. So Mads Pedersen is one of those riders for Little Trek. Pidcock, and then I'll just say, I always put other there, but so there's another poll for the 3 riders at the front. Vote who you think is going to win it. They're just showing the damage that has happened to Pogacar on that crash. A lot of holes on the clothing on the left leg. So I think Pidcock's I think Pidcock's gonna get this. I hope he gets it. Van der Poel now moves to the front. Pogacar second wheel, Pidcock in third, but Van der Poel just moved off the front now and moves to the back. $32 seconds, so it has leveled out. I don't even think Van Aert made it back onto that. They're just showing, they're saying on PCS that Pogacar, scrambled. They're saying on PCS that the Wout van Aert time, there's a question mark above it, so I don't know if he is in the peloton or if he still hasn't made it back. But we're into the final 16k now with a gap of 33 seconds. So as it stands on the pole, it is one for Pogacar, one for Van der Poel, and one for Pidcock. So it didn't expect. I thought quite a lot of people would have went for Van der Poel. Didn't expect it to be so even. So they've got the what group's this? I should have been watching the TV. So it's the Van Aert group trying to catch on to the back of the peloton. Say there's about 5 or 10 seconds, maybe a bit less, but Julian Alaphilippe is in that group with Wout van Aert trying to get onto the back. If this stays the way it does, we're looking for a very exciting final kilometre, even, because that year that I need to find this out. The year that Pidcock was in Ineos and launched on, well, not launched, but tried to do well in that descent, and then he launched in the final 1 kilometre to try and gap them. That's just, what year was it? Let me try. 24. Was it 24? Yeah, he got 11th. So yeah, it was 24. He did all that. Oh. What are we thinking so far of this Milano-Sanremo? If you want to put the chat up to yourself, but let me know if you are enjoying it, or because it is going a lot better than I expected. I'm happy to see Pidcock there. So we've got 5 riders for Little Trek at the front now. The front rider is someone from Decathlon, but Vasek's there, and Pedersen is at the back. So we've got 1 rider from Decathlon, then there's 5 for Little, and then there's Ghana, and then the rest of the peloton. But Pogacar's still at the front of this front of the group at the front. Pidcock in second, Van der Poel in third. Oh. 4.4k now to the Poggio. That's how long they've got until they hit the foot of it. 13.5k to go. .31 seconds now from the Pogacar, Van der Poel and Pidcock group to the peloton. So I don't think they're getting caught. It's dropping down by seconds, but it's not dropping down quick enough. Just not a lot. I don't think not a lot's going to happen here. Pidcock moves to the front, Van der Poel in second wheel, Pogacar in third, but not a lot is going to happen now for the next 3.7k until they hit the foot of the Poggio. And I think the only thing that will happen, and that is possible happening, is the peloton catching them, as Little Trek now moved to the front with Vasek. They've still, is that 5 or is that 4? 4 or 5 riders, but they've 27 seconds, so the gap is going down quite a bit. 5 seconds there since I last mentioned. 26 seconds now, but it is Little Trek doing the chasing. Three kilometers to the Poggio. So they're into the final 3 kilometers before the Poggio. 12.2 kilometers to go, and the gap is now 25 seconds. Hello, Bobby. So Little have a lot of riders to burn through here before They have a lot of riders to burn for this 2.7k as Vasek now moves off the front with 23 seconds. So Vasek dropped that group dropped the seconds from 32 to 23. I know, I agree. The Visma luck, they've got Victor Kampenaerts. He's in fourth wheel at the moment behind the little trek train. Van Aert has just made it back onto the back of the peloton. So they have got no luck. Van Aert, Jorgensen, Affini all went down. So, yeah, I don't think they can get any luck. A big cut on the left leg of Pogacar there, down the side of his calf. I'm only seeing that now. Pidcock's looking pretty strong here. I'm not gonna lie, he does look pretty strong. Brennan could have podium. Do you think so? Do you reckon he would have? I don't know. He probably would have got caught in the crash, to be honest. Yeah, Pidcock did look good in the Torino. That's he good form coming into it. And I was looking at him there when they were doing the rounds. Gregoire gonna. I completely forgot about Gregoire. I don't even know if he's here. I think I seen a rider from Groupama. I'm not even sure if it was him, but I completely forgot about Gregoire. What rider? He's number 61, so I'll look out for 61. But Pidcock's at the front, and I don't like this. Pidcock just needs to sit in the wheel. Van der Poel's looking for a back-to-back. Pogacar's looking for his first ever time winning. Let them fucking ride. Right. If Roglic wins this, I'll eat my shoe. So Pogacar moves to the front, 800 metres to the foot of the Poggio. They hit the 10-kilometre banner, so we're now into the final 10k. You'll go bald. You and me won't get. I'll eat my shoe. I'd rather eat my shoe. So we've got Bobby going bald. I'm going to eat my shoe. What are you going to do, Hound, if Roglic wins this? So one rider from Groupama, as the 16 seconds now from the peloton to the chasing group, they hit the 10-kilometre banner as well. 400 metres to the top, or the foot of the Poggio. Pogacar's at the front of the group, Van der Poel in second, Pidcock in third. If you are enjoying, as always, hit the subscribe. Don't forget to like the video as well. I do appreciate it. I can't tell here now, but I think I'm almost at 100 subscribers, so it is much appreciated if you do subscribe. I'm live for every World Tour race this year, so stay tuned. But with 10 seconds now on the peloton, oh no. Start of the climb now. You can see the peloton in the distance. They're about to hit the start of the Poggio as well, but Van der Poel at the front, Pogacar in second wheel, and Pidcock in third. Pidcock gets out of the saddle in third as Van der Poel moves off to the left for Pogacar to come through at the front. And now Pogacar is at the front on the Poggio with a 7-second gap on the peloton. I think Little Trek have done a brilliant job at chasing these three down. It's just if they can get on the back and catch him. I don't think they will though. I think there's going to need to be quite a lot of attacks in the back of this group. As Pogacar now gets out of the saddle and attacks on the Poggio. He's putting the pace up. I wouldn't say it's a full form attack but they're just showing a helicopter view of it. But Pogacar attacks. Pidcock moves straight to his wheel. Oh, come on, Pidcock. Van der Poel's getting distance from Pogacar and Pidcock. Holy, Van der Poel's gone. It's down to Pogacar and Pidcock. It's up to the descent if Van der Poel can get back on here, but 8.4k to go, 2.9 to the top of the Poggio, and Van der Poel is distance. It's down to Pogacar and Pidcock. I can't believe Van der Poel has dropped here, and Pogacar crashed as well. I don't know what Van der Poel dropped from the peloton, but I don't know what happened for him to drop there. Apologies if you heard I hit my mic there, but I'm really hoping Pidcock gets this. If he gets this will be nuts. 9 seconds now, 10 seconds for the peloton, but Van der Poel is done. And don't give me hope. Don't give me hope. I really want Pidcock to win this now. Pogacar's still at the front. Pidcock he's looking really, really well here. Every time Pogacar attacks, he's straight to the wheel. And he doesn't look... Nothing seems to be phasing him. Please don't attack again. And please don't drop him. They just went round a hairpin bend as Van der Poel goes round it now. So there's 11 seconds from Van der Poel to Pogacar. 20 seconds now. So they're way at the back now. The Peloton, no chance for them. 18 seconds, 12 seconds, or 18 seconds for the Peloton, 12 seconds for Van der Poel, 7.6k to go, 2.1k for the Poggio. Pogacar at the front, Pidcock on the wheel. Now, oh, come on. I'll be honest, I'm a tatty hate watcher. I think he's a brilliant cyclist, and I take nothing away from him, but he wins too much, and it does my head in. He's too good. You think Van der Poel should drop back? I don't think he's any teammates, though. As Pogacar now attacks again, Pidcock out of the saddle, not letting him go anywhere. He is stuck to the wheel like glue. He is not letting him... He's not giving him a meter. Oh, you're a Visma fan? Oh, right. I should have guessed that from the... Can Visma get any luck? 7 kilometers to go, 1.5 to the top of the Poggio. Van der Poel is 13 seconds down. The Peloton is 21. I can't believe Van der Poel dropped. He was in such good form as well from the Tirreno. I would love to know what happened. Or he obviously just wasn't feeling it, but... And I'm not an expert, so I don't know what... I'm sure you'll get a lot of people come out and say what happened, but... I know. I hope Tom stays on the wheel. He doesn't need to do a single thing. Pogacar wants to win. Pogacar wants to win this. Let him do everything. Merlier going to get a podium? I was going to say, but is Merlier going to get on his bike a kilometre to go? Hop out from the crowd? Magne. Pogacar out of the saddle. 1k to the top of the Poggio. Pidcock still on the wheel as Pogacar seems to be trying to put the foot down. Pidcock sits down. Pogacar puts another attack in. Pidcock out of the saddle. Don't gap him. Stay in the wheel, Pidcock. Come on. 6.4k to go. Confetti going off in the crowd. There's a lot of 800 metres to the top. Van der Poel's 13 seconds down. The chasing group is 20 seconds down. To be honest, you said, man, I completely forgot about Mania. I'm forgetting about everything. That crash just completely threw me off. So I've forgot about everyone. All I've been thinking about is Van der Poel, Pogacar, Pidcock as well, Pedersen, Wout van Aert. If he gaps, I didn't want him to gap him because I'm hoping on the descent, Pidcock tries to attack him on the descent. And I think if he does, I think you're going to see another incident like that Mohoric a couple of years ago where near went into the house's front window. 400 metres to the top, all the crowds are out in full force. I can't believe it. The 1-2 is at the front here, Pogacar and Pidcock. They're both looking around their shoulder here with 200 metres to go on the Poggio. 13 seconds on Van der Poel. They're obviously seeing where he's at, but that's obviously a bit bad. They're top of the Poggio and it is sponsored by Lidl, and there's no Lidl riders there. That's them onto the descent now. They go around the bend onto the descent. Van der Poel's about to get caught by the Peloton. I'm sure the Peloton will come around that corner and see Van der Poel on his own and go, what has happened? Van der Poel now onto the descent. 5.3k to go. Here, see every time someone says something that just sounds remotely good, you're giving me false hope. But Pidcock now moves to the front on this descent. Oh no. Unless he tries to attack. 16 seconds now on the Van der Poel group. 5k to go. But this is the technical descent of the Poggio. Please don't. Look at the Pidcock's Pidcock's descending is unreal, but you just, every time you see him go around a bend, you just hope he doesn't hit the deck. You think Pogacar's got it? Don't even. It's just mano a mano here as Pogacar comes up the left-hand side, moves to the front now, in front of Pidcock. This little bugger, who are you talking about? Slight better sprinter, I think. I don't even know. Pogacar's pushing on the descent, slightly gapping Pidcock, but Pidcock's closing it down. Heavier, yeah. I just hope I hope it's bad, but I hope the crash took a wee bit of power out of his legs, but it doesn't seem they've done so. Pogacar's attacking on this descent out of the saddle, trying to drop Pidcock. There is a bit of I'd say a couple, maybe three or four bike lengths, but Pidcock isn't letting them go anywhere. Oh, right, sorry. I've just caught on to what's happening. Pretending to be Pogacar. I mean, we saw Lenny beat Jonas. Yeah, I know. That gives me hope. So Pogacar's now in the chat, talking about Pidcock being in his back pocket. 7 seconds. What? 4 seconds on the chasing group? Am I saying things or what? 3.1k to go. What is the distance in the peloton here? Please not tell me they get caught. Italian time gaps. So we're coming into the final 3k. Pogacar still at the front with Pidcock. The pole was 18% for Pogacar, 27% for all three of Van der Poel, Pidcock, and other. Oh, this is... my heart's going. Pogacar's... he's been dying to win this race. And Pidcock... the only one here to stop him is Pidcock. And the bum I dropped. I knew I should have bet Pogacar. You wouldn't have made any money. That's at the bottom of the descent on the Poggio. It is the final sprint, or final straight to the... they're on the flat of the finish now. Don't forget to subscribe and like. I do appreciate it. Nearly at 100 subscribers. I'm live for every World Tour race this year. Hit the 2 kilometer banner. But yes, I'm live for the Volta Catalunya, E3 Saxo, the E3, Ron Van Bruges, and the Ghent-Wevelgem next week. I'm live for every single one of them, so subscribe, stay up to date. The peloton is now at the bottom of this descent. Van der Poel at the front with Pedersen. You said Pidcock pulling. He's now not pulling. He's on the wheel of Pogacar. 1.7, 1.6, 18 seconds on the group chasing. Oh no. That's come on, Pidcock. Van Aert now attacks off the front of the peloton. What is going on? Wout Van Aert has attacked off the front of the peloton. Fair play to Van Aert. He's hit the deck and he's now doing this. Fair play to you, Wout Van Aert. This is brilliant to see. 1.3k to go. I need to move this mic in case I hit it. I'm going to move it down. Right, so... Pidcock's pulling as they come into the 1 kilometer banner. Oh no. He's flicked the elbow as he lets up on the pedal. As Pogacar now moves to the front, Pidcock on his wheel. Oh no. What is going to happen? 10 seconds. The chair's all over the show. Round the final bend. Pogacar still... no, I always say round the final bend when it's not. They're coming around the final bend now. Pidcock on second wheel. Pogacar still at the front. 0.7k to go. Here we go. Who's gonna go first? Here we go. Anyone gonna launch? Pidcock still on the wheel. No one's launched. Pogacar flicks his shoulder. No reaction from Pidcock. 0.5k to go. Both look over the shoulder. No one in the back. Who's launching first? Pidcock's obviously going to wait till he... but they're almost at a standstill here. Nothing's happening. As the group now comes, you can see the group. There's Van Aert. I didn't even see him. There's Van Aert. Van Aert's still out. Pidcock's still in second wheel. No one has launched yet. Van Aert is closing the gap on them. Pidcock now launches. Pidcock and Pogacar launches, but Pidcock is coming up on the right-hand side. Is he going to get boxed? But I think Pogacar is going to get this. Pidcock now comes on the right-hand side. It doesn't look like he's going to get around him. Pidcock comes on the right-hand side. Pidcock, Pogacar. Pogacar got it. Pidcock nearly got it. They both put their arms around each other, patting it back. What a finish. Fucking Pogacar got it. I thought Pidcock got it there on the line. After a crash as well. Fuck me, he's like the Terminator. Jeez. What a finish. What a finish. I'm gutted Pidcock didn't win that. Gutted. Matteo Trentin, he hugs Pogacar. I think it is time. I might start watching ping pong, to be honest. Crash, and then he goes on to win it. Half a wheel. He beat him by half a wheel. What a finish. If you're just joining, Pogacar just beat Pogacar. Pogacar just beat Pidcock in a 2-man sprint by half a wheel in the Milano-Sanremo. If you enjoyed that, subscribe, because I'm hoping for more of that for the rest of the season, because that was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It's funny that Pogacar just won the Milano-Sanremo and he's typing in the chat. Wout van Aert third. Did he get third? Once empty were at the front, the rest went out of the head. But if he did get third, that is brilliant from Wout van Aert. Brilliant. Because that's his fifth or sixth time riding it, and he's still in the top 10. 100% take it, even after crashing. He wasn't in the peloton when they hit the Cipressa for that attack. If Wout van Aert was there, you just think about what could have been. Because Van Aert wasn't even in the peloton when they attacked. I think Pedersen even got a top 10. Bro had nightmares of... I'm watching it back. I'm gutted for Pidcock. Wout came to the back of the peloton. Yeah, he just made it to the back on the Poggio. If he was there at the front, near the front for that attack on the Cipressa, don't even get me thinking about that. I'm waiting for the top 10. I want to see what the top 10's looking like. Is that Carlos Sainz? He's walking side by side with Carlos Sainz. I know why I always would. So here we've got the top 10. Let me see. Tadej Pogacar comes in first. Tom Pidcock gets second. Van Aert gets third. Mads Pedersen gets fourth. What the... Corbin Strong in fifth. Van Drame in sixth. Jasper Stuyven seventh. Van der Poel gets eighth. Trent in ninth. And Zambrani 10th. What a talk. I said I'm not even expecting much from Pedersen. His first race of the season. I said it's his first race because he crashed on stage 1 off the Valencia. And he gets fourth. Corbin Strong for NSN pulls it out of the bag when Benny Gramai crashes. He pulls it out of the bag, gets a top 5. What a finale. What a top 10 as well. Brilliant. Strong with a strong performance, agreed. I don't even know. I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you very much for joining me for this Milano-Sanremo. I do appreciate it. Anyone that joined, there's 18 people in here now. Anyone that joined, I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe and like. I've got the Volta Catalunya, Ronde van Bruges, E3, Gan Velvegem. I'm live for all of that next week. So, yes, like and subscribe, all of that. Thanks for all the emojis in the bottom of the chat. I appreciate it. But what a race. Pogacar gets first, beats Pidcock by half a wheel at the Milano-Sanremo. He finally does it. Wow. Thanks for watching the Final K, and all the best.